Football fans, we have actual football action. Not with actual footballs, but the NFL draft is here. It's draft week. Tomorrow is the draft. We're recording this on Wednesday, April 22nd. First round is tomorrow. My team has 2 picks. This is the least excited I've been about a draft in a long time, surprisingly. But we've had some trades. We've had some other things happen. Welcome to Play Action Takes, Apollo Media's NFL podcast. I am your host, Tony Strankman, joined always by Kush Patel. How we doing, brother?
Man, we're here. The draft is tomorrow. It felt like free agency was yesterday, man. Like time's flying. One step closer to the season, and let's get into the draft, man. Everybody's semi-excited for this one.
Yeah. I FaceTimed my parents last night. My dad is the reason I'm into the Dolphins. It's his fault, and it's his dad's fault. Growing up in Miami, that can't really do anything about it, right? He's like, "Hey, you're gonna have the draft on tomorrow night?" And I was like, "Yeah, yes, Dad. No, I will be watching the draft." He's like, "Oh, what do you think we're gonna do?" I was like, "I have no idea." And then I'm on the treadmill today at the gym after the workout, and my grandfather calls me. He's the reason we're Dolphins fans. He's like, "Oh, we're gonna take an offensive guard?" And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, this is a new regime. I don't know what they're used to yet. I have no idea. They're asking me for all the updates. Like, I'm the insider, not Adam Schefter, not Rappaport. I just talk on a podcast. But we're here. It's the draft week. It's fun.
Yeah, it's funny you said that because, as a Texans fan, like I was excited to talk about the draft. The prospects, all that stuff, and then I kind of reached a point within the last 2 weeks where I'm just like, man, can we just get to the damn draft already? Draft who we're gonna draft, and then just get on with the program, man.
It's going to be interesting. I'm looking at this mock draft right now. We're going to do a mock draft at the end of the episode as our appetizer or our full meal and the dessert, I guess. There's going to be all 3 courses there with the mock draft. Looking at it, there's no pick 29, 30 on this board right here. Am I missing something? Did we lose some picks? There's no way, right?
That doesn't sound right, but
it's only showing all the teams. I guess I'm going to select all the teams, right? All right, now I understand what's going on.
It's okay. We figured it out. Technical difficulties with the draft, but
it's very confusing. I actually have no idea what's going on. I'm very confused.
I feel like that makes it even funnier episode.
Welcome to Draft Day, Kevin Costner.
Welcome to the draft with Play Action Takes.
I do need to watch Draft Day. I need to put that on the TV today just to get in the mood, because that's my NFL Draft Day.
The vibes up,
Yeah, during college, when I went to Mississippi State, we would watch Draft Day on the morning of the NFL Draft just to get in the mood, get in the spirit. Great movie.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Shout out to the Browns. They made it, but what can you do? All right. We have other news, though, to get to. Dexter Lawrence traded to the Bengals straight up for the 10th pick. Weird?
That was a very, I wouldn't say weird trade, but when it hit my notifications on my phones, I was like, cool for the Bengals, I guess. And Dexter Lawrence gets to play with Joe Burrow in his locker room. He finally has a competent quarterback. Didn't have that in New York.
Never.
And the Giants got the 10th pick, and they can kind of rebuild their team. They have their quarterback in Jackson Dart. Cam Scatterboo, I don't think his brain is working with the way he headbutts everything in sight. But we'll see what the Giants do, and I guess good for both teams, I guess.
Yeah, you get a little bit younger. You have a pretty good defensive line, right, with the Giants. Dexter Lawrence maybe isn't the best one out of all of those guys. Could be the best one. Sometimes is the best one. But you got Brian Burns and some other stuff around there. And you've been drafting there, Abdul Carter. Like, you've got some pieces there already. So I think you can feel kind of comfortable replacing him and not having to pay him $28 million. You got a $28 million one-year extension, right, through the, I believe, 2028 season. So total updated contract spans 3 years, valued at $70 million. So he's signed through the 2028 season, $70 million total value there. So, you get a really good defensive lineman. You sign him short term. You don't have to lock him in for 5 years if you're the Bengals. Obviously, losing Hendrickson and you didn't pay him. So now you've paid Lawrence. And I don't know which one's better, to like rush the passer or to stop the run. You're going to go in a different direction now on the defensive line, I guess. Interesting trade for the Bengals. I thought the Giants should have added something into that trade. I thought that was kind of a fleece from them to get the first round pick and not have to give anything else up outside of Dexter Lawrence, because he was needing to get paid, and that was part of the reason why I think the Giants were willing to offload him or willing to look at trades. And then the Bengals obviously need some help on the defensive line. Gave him a little bit of an extension, not a crazy one, but I still thought the Giants kind of came away from that maybe a little bit better.
Yeah, you brought up the whole contract situation fiasco with the Giants. I feel like the Giants were kind of, in a spot where like he didn't want to be there anymore and they were just trying to get rid of him. And
Yeah.
I feel like they were okay with just, receiving what they received for him. I mean, they get the number 10 pick. Obviously, we're going to do the mock draft later, but one of the guys that, I've done a few mock drafts, in the past, months or whatever. I actually did one the other day after, the trade happened, and Caleb Downs seemed to like drop down to number 10. So, maybe that's kind of what they're considering, looking at all this stuff, but we'll see.
Yeah, you get a little bit younger, a little bit cheaper for the Giants, more flexibility with Harbaugh to go get his guys and kind of build that culture with him in there. You've already got your quarterback seemingly for the future. You've got a running back, potentially another running back getting added to the fold with Jeremiah Love. Maybe they're at 5, maybe not what John Harbaugh wants, but maybe it is what he wants. And then you got another one at 10 there and kind of do some supplemental stuff, offensive line, defensive line, whatever it may be. I like it for the Giants. It's fine for the Bengals. It's like you really want another big ticket guy on your squad. When you have the 10th pick, like you can get a cheaper asset for 5 years. You don't know if he's going to be as good as Dexter Lawrence or a different type of player, but I feel like that was kind of a stretch for the Bengals. Like obviously you're looking at a Super Bowl window with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and all these guys. I think that's how they're viewing it, because now it's been handful of years, 4 years since that Super Bowl, right? The 21 season, 22 Super Bowl. It's been a while since you've been back, and your teams just haven't been as good because Joe Burrow's been hurt most of those years. So it's interesting that you went for defensive line instead of offensive line. Could be wrong.
Yeah, that was interesting. They went the other side of the ball instead of the offensive line, but I think the Bengals, like organizationally, right now they're in a position where like I have to imagine Joe Burrow's kind of putting the pressure on him right now, and I guess they, felt like they had to make that move. As far as offensive linemen, I mean, there's some guys in the draft that they can probably get in the later rounds, but yeah, I think the pressure's on the Bengals front office right now with Joe Burrow.
Like Trent Williams, we haven't talked about him since his extension. He got a 2-year, $50 million deal. Like you wouldn't even have to give up the 10th pick for that guy right now. I don't think. Yeah. I was surprised that San Fran signed him. That wasn't on our docket to talk about, but I was surprised a 2-year to 1 year and just keep going one back, like LeBron has done with the Lakers over the last how many ever years. He's a little bit older, right? I think that's why you do the 1-year contract and you just kind of wait and see if he's ready to come back. And I understand why San Fran brought him back. He's part of the culture and that team and the fabric of it. If you're the Bengals, it'd be like, can I give you a second pick for Trent to help out offensive line? I think he could before the contract started talking with San Fran. But and for $25 million, shaving $3 million, helping the offensive line out, helping Joe Burrow out. I don't know. I just spitballing here. I'm not a GM, but that's what I would have maybe tried to do first.
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys were, Trent Williams is just one example. I feel like a lot of these guys, I just don't think that testing free agency for some of these guys was even an option. I feel like that's the case with Trent Williams. Otherwise, like a lot, that's one of the best tackles in the league. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. I feel like a lot of people will be knocking on his door. So, like, whenever this kind of stuff happens where, a team is like trying to get something done with a Trent Williams, like, my mind kind of goes to, okay, they're having trouble reaching a deal, but I don't think he's going to leave.
Yeah, that's fair. I was surprised when the Dolphins got Teron Armstead a few years ago. good offensive linemen don't hit the market ever. Like you don't get free agent offensive linemen that are really good unless they've had like a really battered injury history and they're just like, yeah, we can't do this anymore. And then you get lucky and he plays a bunch. Aaron Brewer for us, like the center for the Dolphins, like he's one of those. It's like they took a swing in free agency, probably overpaid a little bit, had a little bit of injury center. They didn't really know, but it worked out. He's been one of the best centers in the game since then. But yeah, I don't know. Good for the Bengals, I guess. They took a swing. They get their guy, and good for the Giants. I think both teams got what they wanted out of it. We'll see who ends up winning that trade eventually.
Yeah, man, I don't know what else to say about this trade. It was a weird
Yeah,
trade. It was
we
a
don't have
weird
to
trade.
talk about it anymore.
And another thing I want to mention is like for me personally, like anytime this stuff drops, I'm always away from my phone.
You
Like
are.
I was driving the other day, and we can talk about this a little bit if you want. The Will Anderson Jr. Extension for the Texans.
Yeah.
I was away from my phone when this stuff happened, and like I come back to my phone like 20 minutes later, and my phone's blowing up, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And I get a text from some of my friends, and it's like, "Oh, I guess I missed that."
And we were sitting there trying all the new foods for the playoffs while we were waiting on them to finish up the team meeting. So then we can go talk to the players and do press conference, all that kind of stuff. I was stuffing my face with churros. I looked down at my phone, and all of a sudden, Will Anderson Jr. is $50 million a year. Good for him. Holy hell. And then I believe I was at AAC on Saturday, right, when the Dexter Lawrence news dropped for the actual game against the Minnesota Wild, game one. Follow Clean Sheet of Ice if you're into hockey and the Stars and everything. That's our Stars podcast over there. We got an episode every game and a recap and a preview. It's a lot of content going out for them right now. But yeah, I was at AAC. So you're away from your phone. I'm actively on my phone, not able to talk about it because I'm talking about something completely different at that same time about the Stars. So yeah, weird timing. Good for Will Anderson though. $50 million a year, first ever.
Shout out to Will Anderson Jr.
To do that, right?
He said he's gonna buy a fishing boat with the money that he got. So there you go, Will Anderson going fishing, and huge for the Texans. Obviously, some of us are Texans fans down here, but yeah, great deal for Will Anderson Jr. CJ Stroud next. I don't know. We'll see. We can talk about that another day, and maybe that's a conversation for the boys at OTG, a Texans podcast here at Apollo Media. But yeah, shout out to Will Anderson Jr., man.
Yeah, like Danielle Hunter, he just got a new 1-year deal, right? 1-year extension.
Yes, extension. Yes.
So he's through next year. Will Anderson is guaranteed through the next 2 years, and then it's unguaranteed for the third year. I would assume that they'll end up guaranteeing that because the cap's only going to go crazy. It just keeps going up $25 million a year. It's like it's not going to be a big problem in 3 years. I did find it interesting that they didn't go for a 4 or 5 year deal with Will Anderson. Still younger on the younger side, and I don't know what the extension can actually look like as a defenseman. I could be completely wrong there.
Yeah, I've kind of heard people bring that up a lot, but I feel like this is a Nick Casario thing. He loves these 3 year deals with like the extra year, added on or whatever it is with all the players. I mean, even Derek Stingley Jr. was a 3-year one. As from a Texans perspective, like I think that's kind of a smart way to go about it because essentially his extension doesn't start till 2028. So you technically have like him for 2 years before the actual extension kicks in. So these are just the things that kind of like Nick Casario has on his plate to deal with, and the 3-year deal is a Texans thing, I guess.
No, I guess that's tidy work because he's not at his 5th year option, right? So you can pick that up and then go into the 3-year extension, or maybe it's the 5th year you've already paid out. You're going to pay him $50 million that year as opposed to the 22, 25, whatever it may be for him. And yeah, I think that's good for Will Anderson getting a payday. He's not going to be 30 yet, I believe, when that deal's up, right? Like he's going to be younger than 30 years old.
Yeah, he's young.
And he'll be able to double dip, and he can go into free agency and become the highest paid defensive player ever, or he can stay with the Texans and probably still get pretty close to that mark, right? Or still get to that mark at that point. Yeah, tidy work. It's not the same.
All in all, he's getting a shit ton of money.
Yeah, not the same as our Astros did with Alex Bregman after the 2017 World Series. but similar. You bought
Yeah.
out a few of the free agency years, but you got them through the rest of the contract at probably what is going to be lesser value than what Will Anderson is worth at that time. He's going to be one of the best defensive players in the game, defensive player of the year candidate, maybe winner by then. And you're getting them for 50 when the cap is going to be 500 million. Like by the time that thing's done, it could potentially, like, we're already in the threes. Like, I'm not putting a cap on anything. I know there's a cap, but like what the cap could actually be could be astronomical in the future.
Yeah, that thing just seems like it's going up every single year, man. It's funny to hear fans talk about this because us fans were like, man, why are we paying this guy this much money? Like, we're not gonna have room. And I'm kind of like, guys, we they might, the way this thing's going up every year.
Dude, I know I was talking about the Dolphins cap issues this season on this podcast, and then after the season ends and you cut Tua and all that kind of stuff, it's less percentage than what Russell Wilson was cut for a few years ago, and Denver was in the playoffs like literally the next year. That's good coach, good GM, good team, good culture. All those kinds of things have to go with it. But I was like, this Tua deal really only hurts us this season. It's like, okay. Along with all the other dead cap hits that you have with Teron Armstead, Jalen Ramsey, everything that Chris Greer just fucked up for you books wise, it's really not that bad. You've been able to spend money. Like, you got Malik Willis. You're going to be able to get some more draft picks here. I don't know. It's just like the cap isn't real. It never has been. The dead cap thing is what could actually hurt you in the end. So, another piece of news. AJ Brown, the most worst kept secret
Yeah,
of all time,
this
is
thing's
going
never
to be
gonna
a
go
Patriot
away.
post June 1st, essentially,
Yeah.
is what we got. I don't know. Sure.
I mean, just do it already, Patriots and Eagles. But we have the Eagles fans on Twitter arguing like it's not going to happen. Leave our guy alone. We have the Patriots people saying, it's been a thing for a while, and then you have the added element with the Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini situation. It's just a clusterfuck of a story, man.
Yeah, you have the Eagles fans bitching. I think that was our last episode we did. I was in Georgia when we talked about it with Jalen Hurts, and now
Yeah,
the AJ Brown stuff completely blows up, and it is essentially a foregone conclusion, according to Rappaport and Schefter and everybody else, that AJ Brown will be a Patriot come June 1st. That has to do with some sort of money on one of the teams, I would assume, in order to make that trade happen. Maybe open up some different assets come June 1st. I don't know what it is, but it makes sense for the Patriots to go get a receiver. You didn't have a lot of your receivers were fine last year. I thought they were actually pretty good, but maybe overperformed expectations, and maybe what their expectations are coming into this season. They're like, maybe they're not going to be able to replicate that. Harder schedule. You're going to have a first place schedule as opposed to like a third or a fourth place schedule. You got all those things kind of working against you. If you're the Patriots, adding AJ Brown to the fold for a year or two or whatever it may be,
yeah,
good business, I would assume, as a
yeah.
Patriot.
The
And he plays for Mike Vrabel. He loves Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel loves AJ. So I think that's a recipe for better success on the offensive side of the ball for the Patriots specifically.
the Patriots also, they signed Romeo Dobbs.
They did. Yeah.
So, and then I saw a report. I don't know how true this is. I saw something where the Patriots are, kind of looking at the option of getting rid of Kayshawn. I
Kayshawn
don't know how to
Booty.
say his last name. I
Booty.
could try.
Yeah,
Kayshawn
it's
Booty.
Kayshawn
Okay, Booty. We're going with Booty.
Yeah.
So maybe that's like, are they trying to clear roster space or, cap space or money or whatever the deal is for AJ Brown? I don't know. But I just feel like it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I would assume like, hey, you want to go to the Patriots. I think that's what AJ Brown wants. He's been a Patriot fan his whole life. Starkville High, great, by the way. Shout out to Starkville, Mississippi. He become a trader and go to Ole Miss. But other than that, we like AJ. I've liked AJ ever since he got into the league. I thought he's like all the mental health awareness and suicide prevention stuff and all that kind of stuff with AJ Brown. That made me really respect him and like him a lot more. Even though he spurned my Mississippi State Bulldogs and went to Ole Miss and then did the dog pee celebration with DK Metcalf once upon a time. But ever since then, I've liked AJ Brown. I'm going to have to hate AJ Brown again because he's going to the Patriots, which is unfortunate because I like the guy. I hate the team. So when you put that jersey on, I'm not going to like you anymore. But yeah, it's all got to be cap and assets and all that kind of shit. I don't know. But weird that we just know this trade's going to happen June 1st, and we just don't know what the trade is for, right?
Yeah. I feel like this thing's gonna happen. Just the details are got to be ironed out, and all the you know draft picks, whatever
Yeah.
compensation, all that stuff.
I
That
wonder
he
if it's just the contract for him.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe
I
the
mean,
Patriots don't want to pay a bonus, or essentially post June 1st bonus or something, and the Eagles were like, "Fine, we'll pay it, but we'll trade him to you right after."
yeah, I feel like it's one of those situations where they're gonna wait after the post June 1st date, and
Yeah. What can you do? All right.
yeah.
We got anything else before we get to this mock draft?
I don't think so. Unless something dropped right now, I don't see my phone lighting up. So
We can double check. My phone's lighting up, but I have Minnesota Wild fans in my mention. It's been a long week. It's been a long week, Cushy. All right, let's start this draft day. We're on the clock with the Raiders mock draft. We're gonna go one by one. Do you want the first pick or the second pick? We'll go alternate.
you can go first, and I'll go second.
All right, that's easy enough. I'll take Mendoza, number 1 overall. Well, let's get our quarterback out of the way for Las Vegas. Set the culture. Make it easy, eh?
Fernando, right? First pick.
Yeah, Fernando, not his brother. I prefer Fernando. If you're listening to us on audio podcast platforms, you can go to Spotify where we have video, or YouTube at Play Action Takes podcasts, and you can find us there.
Okay, so with the second pick, decisions. I'm gonna go David Bailey, Texas Tech.
Oh, didn't see that one coming.
Number 3, Arizona Cardinals. Who we got?
There's not really a quarterback for you. And I don't love taking a running back when you don't have everything else. So I think I'm going to take what I think might be the best player in the draft, Sonny Styles.
All right, Sonny Styles,
who might be the fastest human on planet Earth as well.
He's a freak athletically.
He's insane.
He is a freak athletically. I
got the Titans on the clock.
The Tennessee Titans. I was actually considering Styles with number 4. So it kind of changes what I want to do. So I'm going to go Jeremiah Love. I feel like the Titans are looking at these two guys. Love is a stud. They need a running back. So Titans, I hate to give you guys a good-ass player, but I got to do it. Jeremiah Love, you're a Tennessee Titan.
Fair. That's fair. So we got the Giants here. What does John Harbaugh like to do? I don't know. I'm gonna go Francis Mauigoa. I don't know how to say his last name, but Francis from the U.
From the U.
Mr. Francis, welcome to the New York Giants. You're gonna love it up there. They're gonna love you because you were from Miami.
The Cleveland Browns. They need a lot of help.
We're back. We're alive.
We're still here. Yeah, we are.
All right. Here. Carnell Tate is now a Cleveland Brown. I am now learning this.
Carnell Tate is a Cleveland Brown.
All right. All right. So the Commanders, New Jerseys, by the way. I don't think they got leaked. That was cool. The Washington Commanders. There's a lot that's going on with them, right?
They do have a lot going on. They need a lot of help.
They need a lot of help.
Probably on defense, particularly.
I'm gonna take a chance. I'm gonna do it. Caleb Downs, welcome to the DMV.
I was not expecting that one, but Caleb Downs, you're off the clock, off the board. You're a Washington Commander. The Saints. I was not expecting Arvell Reese still being here.
No.
So, New Orleans, you got one of the best linebackers in the draft. Can build your defense off this guy. Arvell Reese, you're a New Orleans Saint.
Yeah, I love
Kansas
that.
City.
Here's
Kansas City
where
Chiefs.
this I you got to do it right. It's Ruben Bain Jr.
Yeah,
I,
Bane Jr. I
a
mean, I
cheaper edge rusher. Chris Jones getting a little bit older. Add to that D line. I don't know.
as a Chiefs hater, we hate to see it, but Ruben Bain Jr., a Kansas City Chief, get to play next to one of the best defensive tackles in the league, Chris Jones.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
New York Giants at number 10. Man,
Still need a lot.
yeah, 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 you do.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
man, I'm not. I don't know where to go here.
I wish I could tell you.
I don't know where to go here. Um, man, you know what? I'm gonna go guard, offensive line.
Okay.
We're gonna do it. Penn State. I don't know how to say his name, but he's a beast. Um, I did envision picking him this early, but you know what? Fuck it. This is
Yeah,
what we're
you
doing.
didn't
Let's go.
think you were gonna have this draft pick until this past week, right? So like now you've got a tackle and a guard to revamp that offensive line to help
The
Jackson
offensive
Dart
line.
out, to
Yep.
help Cam Scadaboo out. You know, I don't know. I don't hate it. All right. My team's on the clock and it's my pick. So this kind of worked out wonderfully for me. Um, look, we need a lot. We need a lot, but we were the worst defensive pass coverage team in the NFL last season. I'm taking Mansour Delane from LSU, DBU. We're going that way. I need it on my team. I need a lot more, but
Miami
I
corner.
need something.
Yep. Miami corner. I like the pick. Um, I didn't see him still being there at 11. Most mock drafts I've seen, for me personally, I kind of mocked him to Kansas City because they just, traded their star corner to LA. So they're
That's
looking for
fair.
a
Yeah,
DB.
didn't think about that.
But hey, you got a good player. The
Maybe
Cowboys.
I was rigging it towards my pick, I guess.
Yeah, the Cowboys. They're having contract situation with George Pickens.
Yeah.
Maybe do you go receiver here?
It
Um,
seems like all the smoke is towards a receiver right now, right? With the
yeah.
Cowboys.
Um, they could use another receiver, Makai Lemon, maybe. Kind of,
Lemon Tyson is another
yeah.
one right
Tyson's
there.
there, kind of going down the list.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I guess they could go Dylan Tiedemann from Oregon.
I wouldn't mind that one or Gerard McCoy.
Jamon
Gerard
McCoy, yeah,
McCoy
he's had
from
the
Tennessee.
injury issues popping up,
Yeah.
within the past month. So I don't know if they're gonna go him at number 12, but I'm gonna take a chance. Jordan Tyson's been falling.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Jordan Tyson for the Cowboys.
All right. I think that's what a lot of smoke is heading towards right now with
Yeah,
the Cowboys.
the LA Rams. I mean, they're pretty stacked. So what really do they need?
Do you think we try to get rid of Puka Nakua and just take Lemon? There's no way, right?
Yeah, are we
There's
are
no
we
way.
getting crazy? Are we getting
No, I
crazy?
think we're getting a little crazy. I think offensive line, you got an older Matt Stafford. You don't know what your future quarterback's going to look like, if it's going to be young or um, middle-aged quarterback in the NFL. So I think you go Spencer Fanu from Utah.
Spencer Fano, you're a Los Angeles Ram.
Because Monroe Freeling is not a trumper type of Southern boy tackle. That's making him drop in my my mind, because if you're going to
He's
be a
dropping
white
in the
dude,
rankings.
if you're a white boy offensive lineman, I need you to be a little too conservative for my liking.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. Um, the Baltimore Ravens. They need some offensive line help. They probably need help on defense.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm having trouble. Where should we go here? C.J. Allen from Georgia, linebacker. Um,
Yeah. I also don't hate a wide receiver there.
I don't hate a wide
But
receiver
I feel
there.
like they keep taking receivers and it's always the wrong one. So maybe we stay away.
Yeah, Isaiah Likely is a Giant now, not with the Baltimore Ravens anymore.
Sure.
Um, so I'm gonna take a stab at this. Kenyon Sadiq is a dynamic tight end.
Yep.
Mark Andrews getting up there in age. You know what? Baltimore Ravens. I'm the GM. I'm getting the athlete tight end Kenyon Sadiq. Um, One thing we know about tight ends, these dynamic tight ends can change your entire offense.
Mm-hmm.
I think they kind of see that. I'm going Kenyon Sadiq. We're
Love that.
taking a chance. Taking a chance.
I can't believe Thieneman is still there.
Yeah.
And I know that it might not be a need for the Bucks necessarily, but like, do we feel CJ Allen or Thieneman here? Because CJ Allen, according to PFF, is a need linebacker. Linebackers weren't that great last year.
Levante David's gone, retired.
Okay, then yeah, I think we got to go CJ Allen here
We're
for the
going
Bucks.
CJ Allen. New York Jets again.
Yeah, we're back. The Sauce Gardner pick.
We are back. Man, Dylan Tienneman's still there. I want to go Dylan Tienneman.
Yeah,
I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm
I
going.
think you
Dylan
got to,
Tienneman.
right? Best player on the board, second pick. Makes sense. This is a weird draft. I think we fucked it up, but it's fine.
It's all good.
It's completely fucked. All right. Here we don't have to go Trump or tackle. We can take Monroe Freeling for the Detroit Lions. Shore up the other side. Since you already got Penei Sewell on one side, I think you go Freeling here. Put him on the left side. Shore up a little bit of offensive line. Let Jahmyr Gibbs and Jared Goff go crazy, you know?
Yeah, I great point with the he's not a Trumper offensive lineman, but I feel like Dan Campbell will kind of turn him into that.
Maybe, yeah.
You know, maybe they add to the offensive line, and last year they kind of declined in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they retool and reload, and that offensive line becomes even better this year. We'll see.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Vikings. Mekhi Lemon's still there.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Jefferson trade speculation on social media. I don't know if anything's going to happen with that. But we're going to pretend like it's real life.
Okay.
I'm going to go Mekhi Lemon. Mekhi Lemon to the Vikings.
I don't hate that.
Carolina Panthers.
Carolina Panthers. Weird team last year, right? Like not great, but not the worst, but kind of the worst, but like kind of the best all at the same time. Carolina Mike came out for the Charlotte Hornets. If you didn't tune into that, that was tremendous. I know I sent it to you.
That was cool. That was cool.
Yeah, that was tremendous. And with the Panthers, I feel like they got into too many shootouts last year where they were able to score a little bit and they weren't able to stop. I'm going to go Emmanuel McNeil Warren from Toledo. I think he's one of the biggest risers into this draft. It's one of everybody's favorite names in this kind of region. I'm going to take him, try to shore up that back end, that little center fielder action on the defense for the Panthers, and maybe stop a few of those touchdowns from happening last year.
The Cowboys, man.
Back again
with the Cowboys at number 20. With the number 12 pick, we took a receiver, Jordan Tyson, right?
Yep.
So got a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
They need a lot of help in the secondary.
A lot.
I'm gonna go with Avion Terrell, Clemson.
Oh.
Feel like he'd be a good addition at corner. I really wanted to go Akeem Mesidor, and I feel like Jerry Jones would probably make that error in the draft. So I'm gonna pretend like I'm a smart version of Jerry Jones, and not make a stupid decision. So let's go Avion Terrell corner.
Okay, I like it. Got the Pittsburgh Steelers here at 21. This franchise seems a lot like a historic college football franchise. I know they don't really have a lot of these guys on their team, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Caden Proctor, tackle from Alabama. Alabama Steelers feels like a lot of synergy there. need a tackle, need to shore up the offensive line. You're not sure about your quarterback situation heading into next year. Maybe you're getting a little bit younger, new coach, all the things. I'm going Caden Proctor there.
LA Chargers. I was about to say San Diego Chargers. I don't know why. I keep
Same
saying
thing.
LA Chargers. Man, you could kind of go a lot of different ways here.
World's kind of your
Jermod
oyster.
McCoy's still there. Akeem Mesidor is still there.
Khalil Mack's getting older. Bosa doesn't ever stay healthy.
A receiver, you can go Omar Cooper Jr.
Bosa's not even on the Chargers anymore. I forgot about that.
He's not.
So he was a Bill last year. Didn't play again.
I'm gonna go. I feel like all the guards that had first round grades are they're kind of gone.
Yeah, I think you're reaching at this point for a guard, right?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go Jermod McCoy. They're gonna take a chance on him.
Yeah,
injury stuff be what it may. Jermod McCoy.
Chargers love injuries.
Yeah. Philadelphia Eagles.
Look, you're about to trade AJ Brown, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. It's Omar Cooper Jr.
I was leaning the same way as you were on that.
It just makes the most sense there. Only because we know AJ Brown is literally gone in 2 months.
Yeah, AJ Brown he's a Patriot. They're gonna need a receiver. Yeah, it just makes the most sense.
Makes the most sense.
Makes the most
That's
sense.
all it is.
The Cleveland Browns.
Fuck, find out, dude.
Where am I going with this one?
They took Carnell Tate in this draft, pick 6.
They did.
So now we're at 24.
Mesidor is still there.
Still need everything. And
still kind of need everything.
Myles Garrett getting a little bit older.
You know what?
I don't hate it, but it doesn't make much sense, but I don't hate it.
It doesn't make much sense, but that's kind of the vibe of our draft right now.
Yeah.
So, not to say that he's gonna replace Myles Garrett, but
no, it's just additive.
How awesome would it be to have Myles Garrett on one side, Akeem Mesidor on the other side,
and that Michigan kid in the middle, eh?
And the Michigan kid in the middle. So we're gonna load that defensive lineup.
Yeah,
I mean that defense was already pretty damn good last year.
It's very Eagles-esque. You double and triple down on your strengths. Shit usually works. For good teams.
Yeah, it does.
They are the Browns, so I don't expect it to work, but that's okay. Defensive line is something that they maybe need in Chicago. They need another center. I'm not kind of keen on taking a center in the first round unless he's kind of a stud. And I don't think there's any stud centers in this draft necessarily in the first round. Second and third round, we can get into that. But Bears 25, I'm going to take Keldrick Falk. I think there's a lot of people that are really high on this kid. Seems like everybody kind of likes him. And then you just added to the defensive line that I felt like was pretty decent last year, got enough pressure, maybe not as much as you'd like, but that secondary was pretty good. He created a lot of turnovers. I think that's just fun for that defense from last year.
Yeah, I think that's a solid pick. Like you said, offensive line wise, they kind of have okay, tackles. They need a center, which I'm sure they're going to grab later on in the draft.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good pick. You can't have enough edge rushers. That brings us to the Buffalo Bills. Playoff failures after playoff failures after playoff failures. We have some offensive lineup here, but they were one of the best in the league. I don't think they're going to go that route. I'm going to go TJ Parker, edge rusher.
Okay.
They have, Joey Bosa up there. I feel like they could get better, rushing the passer.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? Maybe he'll help them in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't hate that. 49ers. Offensive line got hurt last year. A lot, it felt like. They were losing someone every week. They lost George Kittle for a while there with the Achilles injury, and they're missing it feels a little a little wonky in San Fran. It's not the same San Fran from earlier in this decade where everyone was pretty strong on every front there. You can go a lot of different ways. You can go guard, tackle, edge. I know safety's kind of an issue, but all the really good safeties, the first round graded safeties, are already gone. I think I know you just signed Trent Williams to 25 a year for the next 2 years. I think you take Blake Miller. You let him get under Trent Williams. If he does get hurt, he is older, or if the other side gets hurt, you got this guy kind of backing up, learning the systems and all that kind of stuff. The West Coast offense, the stuff from Shanahan, the Shanahan offense, and all that. So I like Blake Miller there.
2 Clemson guys in a row. Shout out to Clemson.
Having a good draft.
Yeah, they are. I believe that's 3 Clemson guys so far
in the first round. I think that's the most out of any team, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Ohio State's already got 3. They had 3 in the top 8.
I mean, the Texans next.
Yep.
Some of these guys I did not expect to still be here. So This is a tougher decision than I originally thought it was going to be. A lot of people like Max from Arizona State. Obviously, they signed tackles in free agency. Caden McDonald's been a big guy that's been mocked to them. Peter Woods, defensive tackles have been a guy that have been mocked to them. But
yeah,
I think I'm kind of gonna shock everybody right now, and I'm gonna go receiver.
Sure.
I'm gonna go KC from A&M.
KC Concepcion.
We love Tank Dell. Tank Dell's a fan favorite. Shout out to U of H. Shout out to Tank. Shout out to Texans. But for me, I'm not 100% sure that he's gonna come back 100%. I mean, we don't know with the way he tore, his knees up.
Yeah.
In the last couple years, I think the Texans offense, receiver wise, they kind of struggled with guys that can separate. KC is a playmaker. I feel like either a receiver like him or a dynamic tight end can kind of change your offense when it comes to NFL offenses. So, and the Texans kind of have to, invest in the offense because the offense wasn't good. It hasn't been good for a while. So, KC, you're a Texan.
Staying in the state.
Staying in the state. You're an hour away. Come on down.
I think he's rising a bunch too in a lot of mock drafts. A lot of people like this guy. I think that's a great pickup. With Nico Collins, obviously he only missed a couple of games last year, but like without him, there was relatively nothing else. You missed on your other wide receivers, at least for last year. They're still young. They can still learn the systems and still become a really good NFL player, the rookies. But adding another one is probably not a bad idea. All right, we got the old Kansas City Chiefs on the clock again. I'm going to go Colton Hood, another riser that I've seen a lot over social media across the mock drafts. Colton Hood, cornerback, Tennessee, obviously played next to Jermon McCoy last season. I think he's been rising a bit, and then it's a late first-round pick, so you get that extra 5th year if he ends up being that good, and then you can trade him to someone at a pretty good price, right? Because that's what you keep doing with all of your really good corners. You just trade them to LA and they'll overpay for it and then give them a contract. It's great.
Yeah, that's a good pick just because I feel like that's the way they kind of handle the corner position is they don't really like sign guys. They just kind of draft guys and kind of replace.
Yeah.
And, late in the draft, it's a good pickup. Colton Hood, talented corner from Tennessee. Again, I reiterate, I hate to see the Chiefs make good picks, but here we are,
It's kind of what they do.
It's kind of what they do, yeah.
Yeah.
Your team, the Miami Dolphins, at number 30.
Yeah.
Denzel Boston's still here. I feel like that's got to be the pick. You guys kind of don't have any receivers right now. Yeah, I mean, give Malik Willis a weapon. I'm going Denzel Boston.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure our GM has already come out and said, like, we'll address wide receiver in the draft. So one of these first 2 picks from the Dolphins will be a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Which one they take a receiver with, I don't know. Which receiver they go with, I don't know. But yeah, that's probably the right idea. I was looking at these guards, Emmanuel Pregnon and It was mainly just him. Oregon, like I kind of trust Oregon as an offensive line school now for some reason. I don't know what it is, but I could be completely wrong. So yeah, I don't mind the Denzel Boston one at all. All right, Max, you're off the board now here with the Patriots at 31. Max Ihanachor. I don't know how to say your name. Max
Max
from Arizona State.
Ihanachor.
Ihanachor. There we go. Arizona State tackle. Offensive line was kind of just really bad in that Super Bowl, and that's like one of your glaring needs. I think that was an easy pick for me.
Yeah, Max Ihanachor is kind of one of those guys that made a name for himself early in like the recruit in the draft prospect process before the combine and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of rose, and I've seen some mock drafts where he goes earlier than where we picked him with the Patriots,
Yeah.
but I feel like teams kind of see him as like a developmental guy that obviously, like, if he goes to a team like the Patriots who had success last year, he can learn in that system, and I think it's a good fit for him rather than if he goes to like a team that is not that good, that really needs offensive line help, and there's a lot of pressure on him. So
Yeah.
I think perfect for him, perfect for the Patriots.
Good.
Seattle, they just won the damn Super Bowl. I mean,
And they're
what do
actively
they
trying to
need?
trade out of this pick.
Yeah, they're trying to trade out of this pick. Um, I don't think we can do that with
No, without the
the free
premium or anything.
version of
In my
PFF we have
perfect
going on.
world,
So
though,
I'm
I'm
gonna make a pick.
yeah. In my perfect world, I'm trading this pick to the Dolphins for their second and fourth round picks, since we have multiple fourth rounders, I believe, or multiple third. We have multiple third rounders, one second rounder. We give them our second this year. We give them a fourth, a future fourth, or the current fourth, and we get into this pick and we take literally anybody because we just need all the help we can get right now. But yeah, you just make the pick as the Seahawks are making this pick. That's my dream for Thursday night. Is the Dolphins trade back into this pick, but we'll see.
I I'm gonna I'm gonna make a pick. This guy was a combine warrior. I mean, the things this guy did at 300, however many pounds, was ridiculous in the combine. Um, I guess it came out that he was dealing with an injury, which made it even fucking crazier. I'm going Caleb Banks. You
Sure.
know, the Seahawks don't really um, need Caleb Banks, but if he's still there, you have a athletic freak on defense that I think with some coaching he's going to be really really good. Once he gets healthy, he's going to be really good. And you just add that to the ridiculous defense that the Seattle Seahawks have.
Yeah, I think that was a lot better than the last time we went through a mock draft about a month ago or so. Um, it's still a little crazy. This is obvious us picking for each and every team. We're alternating. We don't know who's going to get picked. We don't know what the other person prefers and all that kind of stuff. Maybe this is how we would pick it if we were those teams, and maybe not how the draft is actually going to end up. Like Ruben Bain being ninth wouldn't be shocked, but like Arvell Reese being eighth would probably be shocked, right? We just kind of went in different directions. It is what it is. But yeah, that was fun. Good mock draft. No trades or anything. We'll have to wait and see what happens during the draft on Thursday night. Round one is coming. It's coming.
We're almost there. Almost there. 24 hours.
Yep. We're gonna have some excitement. We're gonna have some good stuff come draft time, right? Let's just recap on Monday. We'll do a full draft recap on Monday. We'll have that episode up later on Monday afternoon, early evening. We'll be having clips and all that kind of stuff because after the draft, it's pretty bleak there for a while, about a month or so,
until the summer rolls around. Yeah.
Until rookie minicamp, which is June. Is that June?
Yep. And during the summer.
Yeah, we're heading into the dog days for football season.
Phase two.
Yeah, like we've had a month here where we're like, there's not really anything going on. You got the Mike Vrabel stuff, you had the AJ Brown stuff, you had some trades here and there, but it hasn't been like overly crazy. There's been more trades this year pre-draft than there has been in the past by a long shot, but it's not like there's not a lot of blockbusters going on, it doesn't feel like. So yeah, welcome back, dog days. We're back.
We're back. We're gonna enjoy the draft tomorrow, and then we'll we'll get to phase two of the dog days of NFL offseason.
Yeah, I'll enjoy the draft on Thursday and Friday through the third round, right? And then after that, I'll see the updates on my Twitter, my
Yeah,
Dolphins app. I'm not tuning in for
it's
all
about
that.
it. Yeah.
The draft's gotten like kind of worse over the last 6 years, right? Since the COVID one, I thought the COVID one was interesting just because like you didn't know what was going to happen. But after that,
Yeah.
I feel like the draft coverage has gotten worse because like we're talking about the stories of the people and all that kind of stuff, which is nice and all that, but like we're not talking about the draft pick itself. Like, what is that player going to mean for this team at this position? Like, I'd rather see a lot of like I want to see Daniel Jeremiah and Mel Kiper and Sean McVay or not Sean McVay, but yeah, I'd like to see him talk about it too. But like Todd McShay, like I like to see all those people like talk about the pick and what does it mean for him. Like this player's going to do this certain thing for this certain team and kind of getting into the nitty gritty as opposed to like, yeah, the kid's mom died when he was 7. You know, I'm tired of the sob stories. I'm tired of that
I
just like
do
bringing it
like the
down.
storylines. I do like the storylines, but I feel like now we kind of got too
We went
heavy
too
into the
far that way.
story instead of just like talking about the player, like
Yeah.
the skills and stuff. I feel like there's a way to do both.
We went too far the other way. I'm good if you mix it in here and there, but like I don't remember what draft it was, but it seemed like every pick had some incredibly tragic story happen to the kid as a kid or in college or something, and it was like every pick was that, and I was like, this is it's a little depressing. We're trying to like celebrate an accomplishment for these guys, and like they just made millions of dollars just by getting drafted in the first round. Millions, millions, generational wealth. That not everyone can get because they can get through the 5th year and all that kind of stuff. Like they just made millions of dollars. Like that's a cool thing. They accomplished a dream. And you're like, man, tragic, tragedy, these things. And I'm like, can we talk about the kid like accomplishing a dream and then kind of throw that in at the end maybe or in the middle, but like not lead off with that? I don't know. Just nitpicking at
Yeah,
this point.
it it's definitely gotten, I don't want to use the word worse, but it's
It's too much.
it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
On the pendulum, we're going sad stories up here, so many of them, and then we're going like actual draft analysis down here. Just even the scales. That's all I'm asking.
I will say I do appreciate, the human side of,
Yeah.
sports and athletes and stuff, but I feel like we're kind of doing a little bit too much of it. There is a way to mix in both of them, and
Yes.
I feel like these sports networks, ESPN, all that stuff, they kind of gravitate towards
The story.
the storylines of it all instead of just you know storyline and then the prospect skills.
Yeah, I don't know if you've watched it, but the Rupert Murdoch documentary on Netflix that just came out, like 3 or 4 episodes, thought that was pretty interesting. How he bought like a bunch of newspapers and turned them into tabloids, essentially, as opposed to like more of a TMZ type of newspaper, as opposed to like real reporting and all that kind of stuff. Which TMZ
Yeah,
does real reporting, but it's like not in a tasteful way. I think ESPN has now gone to the Rupert Murdoch version of like news for sports to get the headlines, to get the views, that kind of stuff, clickbaity, whatever it is. They're doing this more so they can get social clips out. Because if they put a social clip out of like an actual breakdown of what the player means for that team and what he does well and all that kind of stuff, it's probably not going to do well. But for us sickos, that's kind of what we want.
yeah,
So I understand why they're not doing it, but it's still kind of annoying. That's all it is.
yeah. Man, one thing about me when draft season comes along, like when I was younger, I used to listen to all this Mel Kiper and Todd McShay and stuff. I just mute the TV now and just wait for the pick. And speaking of the picks, one thing I do not like about the NFL draft nowadays is one, it takes too long to get the damn pick in, and two, like if you when you're on social media, you have like some of these NBA reporters and MLB reporters and whoever else from other sports, you know, breaking the news on the picks if, like 3 minutes before it happens, and it just for me it just ruins the whole like thing with the draft.
Yeah, Peter Schrager turns his phone off during the draft now to enjoy it.
That's smart. It's smart. Maybe I should do that.
I might put mine on D&D,
Yeah.
just do not disturb, and just like enjoy the draft and not
Just
like be
vibe it
on
out,
Twitter
yeah.
the whole time, but like when something happens, then go to Twitter and kind of look at it during those 10 minutes where the next team is making a pick, you know? I don't think I can do that because I have, but I might notify those people. I guess I could do it on my desk or on my laptop because they don't throw a notification right at your face. But if you're scrolling on your phone, it's a problem.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
World of hurt. Well, hope you enjoyed the mock draft. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Play Action Takes Pod. Subscribe to us on audio podcasts like Apple, Spotify. We got video on Spotify as well. Follow us on social media. You follow Kush on social media. He'll have a bunch of stuff during the draft. I probably won't. I'm in full hockey mode right now, so it's a little tough for me to kind of spread my wings there and go into NBA and NFL and hockey and baseball. It's becoming a problem right now. I got too many sports that I like. I need to drop a sport. I think that's my solution.
There is a lot going on. Yeah.
It's too much right now. But hope you enjoyed. Enjoy the draft. Have fun this weekend. It's our last taste of football until training camp really happens this summer. So enjoy it while it lasts. Have a drink, get some food, enjoy the draft, and we'll be back on Monday with another episode. Play Action Takes, Apollo Media's NFL podcast.